just like digits. Okay, lateral oblique and medial oblique. You can see them now, they're right together. The accessory carpal bone also helps you. It's projected, and that's a lateral structure. Okay, the proximal and distal rows of carpal bones. So this is how it's taken. The film is taken, the knee is flexed, and the angulation for proximal distal row changes. But what you're looking at on the proximal row, of course, you have the intermediate and radial carpal, and it's almost like your fist. So you're seeing the articulation between intermediate and radial carpal. Radial carpal, intermediate, and then ulnar carpal is the smaller one. Okay, so that's the proximal row. The distal row, the third carpal bone, kind of curves around in front of the limb, in the dorsal surface, and the articulation is off to the side, laterally. So you just need to remember one, and if you use your fist, that would be your proximal row of carpal bones, because then the articulation is right in the center. And that's just another example of what it looks like. Radial carpal bone, intermediate, and then ulnar carpal. Distal row, see the articulation is laterally placed. Third carpal bone curves in front of dorsal to the limb. In the tarsus, it's exactly the same concept. That's a dorsopalmar or AP. And just like the carpal bone, and just like the carpus, you're going to use the accessory carpal bone. Like the tarsus, you're going to use the calcaneus and the talus. The talus is, of course, located lateral. The talus is located lateral. The calcaneus is located. The calcaneus is located laterally, and the talus is located medially. So that tells you, if the films are mismarked, you should know that those are lateral structures. Okay, so again, to note that the intermediate ridge of the talus, that's where we commonly see OCD lesions. And the other structures are pretty much the same. So you can take time, and this is just a review. Okay, that's how they're taken. A lateral view, on a really nice lateral view, well-positioned lateral view, you should be able to at least see the joint open, the joint spaces opened, in other words, where you can visualize them. If you don't, then that's an oblique view. You can also use the articulation between the talus and calcaneus, which is this nice straight line, this M, to tell you that that is a straight lateral view versus a lateral oblique view. Because a lateral oblique is going to, you're going to see the calcaneus is going to be projected laterally, and we'll see that in a minute. Now, when you talk about the lateral view, nobody says this is a lateral medial view. If you're talking about the entrance and exit of the beam, nobody says that, right? So remember, it doesn't matter if you go medial, lateral, whatever surface you in the x-rays enter and exit, you can go the opposite direction and it's still the same because the two surfaces are superimposed. So we just call a lateral view a lateral, rather than saying it enters on the lateral surface, exits on the medial, and so lateral medial. You got that? Okay. Okay, so the oblique views are the same concept. You're now just using the term plantar instead of palmar. Okay? Look at your nice L, see the lateral? And you don't see that articulation well, but you can see the ridges of the tibia if you're looking for fractures or OCD lesions. So this is a lateral oblique. Here's your L, little stair step between the fourth and the lateral split bone. Same concept. Same concept of the medial oblique. Second tarsal, medial split bone. And then number 5, we see on this view very nicely, is the plantar border of the sustentaculum tali. Sustentaculum tali? Y'all remember that?
Is there another name?
No. Sustentaculum tali. Really? Oh.
What number?
Number 5. This little bump back here. They called it something else? Tali? Okay, Dr. Vasquez and Dr. Carter, y'all look that up for me. I don't know. I don't think it has changed. Well, unless I didn't read the memo. ST. Sustentaculum tali. ST. Okay. It's okay. But if you notice, there are lateral ridges of the talus, and then it's bumped back here on this plantar medial surface. Okay, hold up. Just remember those on that medial oblique view. So if you know that this is plantar medial surface, then this has to be dorsolateral. So number 4 would be the lateral. And it's the one that has the little notch in it. Y'all do remember that?
Yes.
Yay. Huh? Who knows?
Mario.
Oh, Luigi's nose. Oh. Okay, great. I really don't care what you use. Whatever works for you, use it. Use it. Now, there are other people that use other things, but if you want, what's his name? Luigi? From who? Mario. Is that Italian, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so Luigi? L. No. Yay. Okay. Okay, there's the medial oblique, same thing. Okay. Okay, for the fetlock, once you get past distally the carpus and the tarsus, everything look the same. So if you don't mark it correctly, you'll have to redo all those things. And we do a 4 views for each joint. Now on a DP view, a dorsal palmar, dorsal plantar view, this is not always the case, and it differs from front limb to hind limb. On the DP view, the medial sesamoid bone is a little fatter along its abaxial surface. Can you pick that up, that this is a little bit fatter here than it is a little indentation on the lateral one? Can you see that? Okay, let's look at it again. Doesn't this one look a little skinnier and pointed than this one?
Yeah.
This one looks fatter.
Yes.
That's usually the medial, and this one is the lateral. Now, it varies from breed to breed, and it's different from the front limb and the hind leg. So you can't always use that. But that's something that you can start with, okay? Tall for lateral, and then fat or filling along the medial surface for medial. Okay, so that's a lateral view. Now, great. Let me see, what else do I have? All right, get a partner. I need papers. Get a Okay, so, y'all have to tell me the number. How many is it? 'Cause I can- Yes, pardon. If you want to work in threes, that's fine. Just sheet of paper, put your names on it. This is my role for the day. I just, no, one sheet of paper, one sheet, one. Okay, first of all, get everybody's name on the sheet of paper. Everybody's name, so whoever's participating.
Yeah,
Okay, you working by yourself? Okay. You three?
Did you forget to take it off, or did you?
somebody put on
Okay, here's your question. Everybody got everybody's name?
Yes.
Okay, so there are two oblique views of the fedlock. Everybody agree that those are two oblique views of the fedlock? Yes. Okay, great. I forgot to mark them. I forgot to mark them. Oh, no, I forgot to mark them.
How would you like?
So, can I tell which is which? Can I tell? Can I tell? What did I say? If you don't mark the films below the carpets and cars is what? You cannot tell. Unless you have a DP view and you see the medial, the lateral, that's about all you can, because they're gonna look alike. Okay, so I'm glad that wasn't a question. So you're not gonna be able to tell, so I'm gonna tell you which view is which. Okay. So on this view where my mark is, this is a dorsal medial lateral view. Okay, so this is a medial blade. The one I just pointed to.
I guess you're right.
I'd like to see how you differentiate it, but it's not
Okay, see where my pointer is? Yay. So this is a medial oblique. Which sesamoid bone am I observing right here? Put it in the paper. That's why you improve. Talk amongst yourselves. What? There's a proximal sesamoid. One is medial, lateral. Which one am I looking at right here? Because there's two repose. So which one am I looking at? This is the one, if there were a fracture, which one is this one with my marker?
Is that endorsement or you want to just use that? You're looking to go back to the ladder.
All I want is medial or lateral.
Lateral. It's not lateral, is it?
This is a dorsal medial palmaro lateral oblique. Okay, you equine people better get this right.
I put lateral.
I can't keep this thing straight. I don't know. I'm really confused.
Brought up that.
Okay, you want this more time? Okay. Okay, so which, everybody done? Yes, okay, so which sesamoid bone am I evaluating right here? Who said lateral? I mean, so, okay, so,
I'm just kidding.
okay. Okay, so which view is this? So just the palmaro-lateral oblique tells you that it is the palmaro-medial surface, right? Yes. And so which sesamoid you looking at? I mean, I could have just made y'all say, really? And y'all would have doubted yourself, gone off the edge. Okay, so it's the medial sesamoid. Okay, good? Y'all got that? Thank you. Sometimes I have to write it down because I get confused.
Wait a minute.
All right, now for the foot, and we're just about done. I got 5-10 minutes actually. Okay, so anytime you're doing the feet, you want to make sure you clean. Oh, I need your paper. I'm sorry. If you get the whole one, just make a correction. Because you're not going to get a grade. I just need the whole. I need the whole sheet. I don't care. Compare it and So when someone tells me that they understand the obliques, I'm going to say, well, you weren't in class. That's all I'm going to use it for. So I can just bring that into your head.
Good, Carson, constructive criticism.
So don't forget the shortcuts. Don't forget my shortcuts I gave you. Do those shortcuts. Okay, so when you're cleaning the foot, when you're radiographing the foot, please make sure the foot is clean. Because the radiographs on the images, you see all this debris and it looks like, sometimes it looks like fracture of the navicular bone, which is what we want to make sure that we don't have any reason to misdiagnose. Typically, the foot is placed on a block, so they wouldn't be directly on the floor because you need to see under the foot, so we can see as such on this image. Same thing for the DP view in the place of the foot. And then for P3, you should do 65-degree angle, place a cassette on a block, and you actually seeing the nice vascular channels of P3. You can look at the solar surface of it to see if it's irregular. The navicular bone on this one is, you can just barely see it superimposed on the second phalanx. Because on this one, you're using a lighter technique so that you can see P3, which is a very, very porous bone. You use the very same angle. Some people use a 60-degree, but the technique is darker so that you can see the navicular bone better. Now you can use Vaseline. Vaseline is messy. Of course, you would have to put the foot in a plastic bag, or you can use Play-Doh, and that way it gets rid of the gas and the sulcus of the frog, so it won't cause misdiagnosis of the navicular bone and navicular fracture. Okay, now it's the same view. It's just a darker technique, and now you can see the ventral border of the navicular bone as well as the dorsal surface. There are very small vascular channels on this surface, distal surface of the navicular bone, but when they become larger than we typically see them, that would be a sign of navicular disease. Okay, any questions for me? Now you know your views, now you've had a large animal, now you know where the diseases are, you know what the views look like, and you're good to go. So today is Monday. Wednesday, I'll finish up with some common conditions of the equine musculoskeletal system.